Let's go. This ain't the fuck night. Oh, this game can he stink.
Oh shit!
It's gone.
What's going on, folks? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Pro Fan Talk. My name is Markus Thomas. Thank you for joining me. We're going to get started real quick. Got a special guest tonight. My guy, my brother, fellow Philadelphia Eagle, fellow Eastern Kentucky Colonel, and also Kansas City Chiefs alum Jason Dunn is going to join me. We had to get it in where we could fit it in. So we recorded this the other day. So I am going to play it. I am still going to be online monitoring the chat, going back and forth. So if you have some questions, please hit me up. So it should be fun. Rob Povia, what's going on, fam? So we should have some fun. And I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to get right to it. Let's hit it. Let me see. There we go.
Has been doing some wonderful things in the past years. And I say Philadelphia is that other team that has been doing some wonderful things in the past few years also. Two teams that we think is the best in the NFL right now, I think in my estimation, is the Kansas City Chiefs and obviously from the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's gonna be a nice game, man, a fun game. Come out on Monday, man. So
yeah. It shouldn't be like last night. if you saw that game last night, that was crazy. Did you see? What did you think about them firing the head coach? I thought that was a little scapegoat-ist. I'm like, the offensive coordinator didn't throw them interceptions. Offensive coordinator didn't fumble. Mm-hmm. You know, they put the ball on the ground 5 times yesterday. They had 2 picks and 3 fumbles. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. And it's like, to me, that was a scapegoat move because the first 4 games when Josh Allen was lighting it up, it wasn't the offensive coordinator's fault. Mm-hmm. It was Josh Allen was lighting it up, and he was playing at a high level, and everybody wanted to throw that E word on him. He was an elite quarterback and all of that kind of stuff. Well, if he's still that elite quarterback, how you gonna put that performance last night on the offensive coordinator? That doesn't make sense to me because he didn't make one throw. He didn't put the ball on the ground. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, like, you don't practice that.
No. Josh
Allen was making bad decisions. He's been playing hero ball for too long, and it finally caught up with him. Mm-hmm.
So, look, we always know this. We understand that, you know, when you're not successful, everybody's trying to find answers. Why not, right? Because there's the Buffalo Bills, you know, Josh Allen, they're the next apparent, you know, guys who win the Super Bowl, 5-5. What's going on? And so the reality is, when those things, somebody's head's got to go. It's got to be Marie Antoinette, you know, right? The sacrificial lamb. That's what had to happen. And so, unfortunately, it's, you know, obviously the offensive coordinator. And so when you do those things, it's like you said, you can't play for the guys. Turnovers and stuff like that is on the players, right? Because that is our livelihood, protecting the football. Those are the guys that's doing it. Coordinator taking it out of the guy's hand, right? Like you said, he's not making the fumbles or the interceptions. That's on the players. So you could try to say, hey, what is it, the scheme? What is it right here where they're not being successful? I would say it is directly related to that guy that's got the football in his hands the majority of the time, right?
Absolutely.
Josh Allen.
Absolutely. Because so here's my question. So if Josh Allen doesn't have 4 turnovers, he fumbled twice, and then they had the 2 picks, and then you had another fumble with the running back. He fumbled twice. He lost one, and then the second one late in the game, it bounced right back to him. So if Josh Allen doesn't put the ball on the ground 4 times, does he still have his job? Does the coordinator still keep his job? If Josh Allen doesn't have that crappy game, he's going to keep his job.
Oh yeah, so, no doubt about
it. And I don't now. I mean, if you're the quarterback, you always got a target on your back. But now he's got even more pressure because if he continues to throw the ball, put the ball, in the other team's hands, now everybody knows it's all on you. Right. You got no excuses now.
Right.
So he put the pressure on himself.
But I don't see how nobody else. You don't see it to begin with, right? I mean, who else? How do you complain and blame everything on the OC? You can't do that. You can't because I mean, clearly everybody sees what the problem is, right? I mean, they clearly see what the problem. And so, like you said, he's going to have this on his back, this bullseye, which he already has, right? Because he wouldn't have talked about Josh Allen to be one of the elite, right? The elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's doing it like nobody else can do it. And so, I just, to me, it's a shame when you see these things happen, and then you start hearing also too, Diggs, the conversation about him,
I saw that.
So that's the thing about it. When a team that has such a high standard and they think that which they are a very talented team, there's no reason why they're 5-5. Sean McDermott, who was, a Philly guy, had his coach career there. Now the head coach, which I believe Sean has. He's one of the greatest coaches, I think, right now in the NFL. I think he's a good coach in the NFL. But that is just lack of focus. It's undisciplined. That's what that is. It's the running back, like you said. You fumble the ball. Josh Allen, doing his due diligence to do it. You have many turnovers. You're not supposed to win the game. We understand that. I mean, it's just, the numbers bear it out. They said the percentage to win a game after having that many turnovers should not happen. You should not have a chance to win the game. So it's just, I don't know what it is. Do you think it's just something going around the NFL? Because I'm starting to see a lot of turnovers, not just Josh Allen, but it seems like just overall in the NFL, right? Another elite quarterback they was talking about, Joe Burrow. What happened to these guys? Okay. Then all of a sudden, Dak Prescott beat the New York Giants, and he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL.
Come, stop it. Stop it. I'm still mad. I felt, and I feel even weird saying this because I don't like the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
But I thought it was very, very disrespectful how all of these people, all of these media heads, all of a sudden putting this moral victory in the narrative. And I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Because I ain't never seen this where, Dallas, they played them tight and they gained some confidence from this game. And I'm like, wait a minute. When did this start? When did moral victories become part of the national lexicon? Because I don't ever remember that. It don't say almost won. You either got a dub or you got an L. That's it. It ain't no close victories. It ain't no moral victories. You got a win or a loss. Point, period, end of paragraph. And for them to say, and for a lot of people in the media to spin it like Dallas proved that they can hang. And I'm like, no, we tried to give the game to Dallas. Dallas should have won, should have stolen that game for us because we gave it to them on a silver platter. We had the game locked up. We had bad play calling in that last series. We couldn't get the first down to run out the clock. We had the punt. We had a decent punt. They got the ball on the 14-yard line coming out, and we get 3 penalties and give them 60 yards in 27 seconds. And they got the ball inside the 10 going in, and they couldn't convert.
Couldn't convert, man.
They couldn't convert. You got 2 sacks in a row. You can't never take a sack at that point.
No.
He missed the open receiver. Sack, and a delay of game.
Right.
So y'all couldn't convert. And our secondary is put together with masking tape and bubble gum, and we got a quarterback on one leg. So my prediction this year is when we go back to Dallas, we're going to sweep Dallas. Because by the time we get there, Jalen Hurts is going to be healthy. Our secondary, all of their issues are going to be solved. Because our biggest issue was our turnover in the secondary. Every week we had somebody hurt.
Yeah.
Bradbury was getting cooked because they got Bradbury moving out the slot. He's not a slot corner.
No.
He's a corner.
It's a corner.
So,
that's right.
So now we got Bradbury back. James Bradbury, he's no slot. Bradley Roby's coming back. He's healthy. Kevin Byard has got enough time to sit back and learn the defense. He looked lost out there and a half second too slow. And that's just not being comfortable. So now, didn't have a game this week. He got all week to get in the playbook. You know what I mean? Slay's been okay, but Slay been getting cooked too. So I think that week off gives everybody enough time to gel. We get some pieces back. So we're going to be going full steam and we got full health. So that's going to give us an advantage. And I'm so sick of hearing about this heavy schedule for us because we got y'all this week. We're at KC, Buffalo, San Francisco, at Dallas, and at Seattle. Every team, including KC, every team has issues.
Absolutely.
Every team has issues. Kansas, I saw that Mahomes was a little gimped up, but that don't mean nothing. He beat us with one leg in the Super Bowl, so that don't mean nothing. But we just saw what happened to Buffalo. They got problems. San Francisco's got problems. Yep. They looked good the other day, but okay, now you coming up against somebody who can match your physicality and match your play. And I'm still not that sold on Brock Purdy, right? So, and my thing is, if we can shut down Tyreek Hill, we're gonna be able to slow down Ayuk and CMC and Debo. So, that's the thing. And then of course, I just told you about Dallas and Seattle got their own problems too. So everybody got issues, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but people forget that.
I guess because just the name in itself and personnel that they have, you just know it's going to be a tough game. And the thing is, the Bills, because they are wounded, and now 5-5 makes them almost desperate. Like you almost have to win. I mean, this is where you are right now. Like your back is against the wall. It's like we got to set ourselves up to try to make the playoffs at this moment because they got the juggernaut of a schedule too. They got y'all, they got us. So it ain't easy for them. Okay, there's two teams I know in the AFC who might not be there. Okay, as the Bills and the Bengals. Okay, They were talking about Super Bowl contenders for the past couple of years, right? Because now we see the Ravens starting to pop up, looking pretty good with what they're doing. In the NFC, start seeing the Lions starting to jump up here a little bit more, right? And so
Lions ain't no joke.
No, they're not. No, they're not. So they're just getting better and better each and every week. But I think a lot of it is, when you start seeing these names of these quarterbacks and people that they done have been the greatest, the ones that the best in the game, there's no way you're going to beat them, right? And they come back. But look, we know any given Sunday. We know what
Sunday, man.
Yeah, we know what it is. And the thing is, I'm not going to say they overlooked the Broncos because the Broncos cooked us, right? They did us here. And everybody's like, oh, well, we was looking past them to Germany. I'm like, who's looking to go to Germany anytime soon? For Miami. Like, when you have a divisional opponent, you got to take care of your divisional opponent. That's first and priority. That's the first thing you got to line up right there. And so I think everybody just kind of, look past Sean Payton, and his, to be honest, his influence on the team. I said, look, it's going to be a matter of time. He's a Super Bowl coach. He's developed quarterbacks in the past with Drew Brees. He's got to get the bad apples out of there. And the Broncos have been losing for such a long time that sometimes changing that culture takes some time. And
takes a minute.
You got to point the bad apples out. You know how it is, Marcus. And when you start seeing guys who are not giving it they all, the guys is back here complaining about every little thing, every chance they get, who's ready to jump off the ship, those are guys like, oh, yeah, he's got to go. He's selfish. He's got to go. There's no way we're going to be able to win with this guy. And so that's what they started doing. And guess what? guys start buying in a little bit. And once guys start getting a little confidence, things change a little. Bit. So my thing is this, and I want to kind of address this. In the trade deadline, y'all started kind of getting guys. Y'all was seeing guys. And I looked, y'all, man, y'all look to get people just fortify what y'all do, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, how'd y'all go get Julio Jones? Where was Julio Jones hiding at for 3 years? It almost like you would have got him off of a mountain somewhere, you know, like the old warrior that hadn't been in war for a long time. You finally go get him. Like, man, yeah, Julio Jones.
We'll see what we're gonna do with him because we just lost Dallas. You know, he's gonna be out. Same exact thing happened last year. He got a face mask against Washington last year. He was out for 4 weeks. Now they break his arm, and you know, dirty move. It was a clean play, but a dirty move, without a doubt, man. That I saw Big John Runyon, who's on the competition committee. He's the one that divvies out the fines and stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw him. I was with at NFL Films with him the other day, and I asked him that point blank. I said, "Do you think that was a dirty play?" He said, "No, not at all." I said, "Because every time he sticks that stiff arm out there, it's fair game."
Fair game.
Now
man.
I say clean play, dirty move because that dude straight up put him in an arm bar. He locked his arm and then fell on it. But that's the risk you take when you stick your arm out there. To me, that's no different than I remember a couple years ago. I forget who it was. The dude had the braids out. Dude grabbed them braids and pulled them down.
Yeah, right.
Man, if you're going to wear your stuff out there like that, that's the risk you take. But one thing I wanted to say about the game in Germany.
Yeah.
Miami had that game. Defense was playing tough. It was a defensive battle. Mm-hmm. They held Kansas City to 14 points. If the offense had bothered to show up at all in the first half, they had your number. And then, you know, Tyreek Hill gives up the scoop and score, and that was the difference in the game. And I thought it was odd how all year Miami's offense has just been running. Even we had them in check, but we couldn't stop them. They couldn't do jack squat on KC.
No.
And it was just too little too late. But I thought they kind of had y'all number, but defense wins championships. And that's what cost them. And I thought it was interesting how they could not get any offense going in that first half, man. And they, you know, now everybody looks at Miami as paper tigers too.
Well, you know, the thing is, man, Spags had a very, very brilliant game plan on how you want to deal with Tyreek. And the thing is this, I said this on the show. I said, who has more film out there than Kansas City on Tyreek? Who knows Tyreek better than the Kansas City Chiefs? I'm like, nobody. He cut his teeth in Kansas City. We the one that drafted him. Yep. We the one that helped create part of what he was doing.
And he was talking mad smack.
So Spags, what you do, and we know we kind of got a little bit of that formula off what y'all was doing with Tua, is get him off that first read, okay? Get him off his grass, make him move his feet a little bit, try to get the ball out of his hand quick. But you take the first read away from him, then what do? So what we decided to do is we're going to take our corners, which we're going to do this week with same thing with AJ and Devontae. We're going to go and try to beat them up. We're going to get physical. Mm-hmm. And so Spags runs a lot of man, and he made sure he was going to try to double Tyreek, somebody over top. And so, hey, we'll go ahead and get the pass interference or, you know, illegal hand. We'll go ahead and get it. If we could take 2 or 3 plays out of Tyreek, and don't let him explode, then that's what we was going to do. And Spags, what he does, what he's brilliant of is he brings a lot of guys from different areas, different places. You don't know if it's going to be a corner blitzing,
right,
linebacker, you know, that slot guy. So he disguises his defense a lot. And so that's what he did. He did that. The offense actually started out the game pretty well. I mean, went down, boom, 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 scored. And then all of a sudden it was just like they decided they wanted to watch, you know, all the monuments out there in Germany. It was done with. It's like, hey, wait a minute, hold on. Like, y'all still got a game to play.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, I guess they wanted the wiener schnitzels out there. I don't know. Just, you know, they try to beer.
Try to beer.
Yeah. And they went just lulled to sleep. And that's been a problem. That's really been the problem with the Kansas City Chiefs, because by all accounts, you know, people talk about our wide receiver core. That's what they talk about. When we look at y'all wide receiver core, we can talk about AJ, Devontae, okay, Goddard. Y'all got some guys. Julio Jones coming, you know, a veteran guy.
Julio Jones, and I'm hoping they'll find some room for Okwegbunu, the guy we got from Denver.
Yeah,
because that dude is big and fast.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So if we don't use him, that'll be another wasted, a wasted acquisition that we gonna waste. And I think they're wasting Rashad Penny right now. I think we're in situations where we can find a way to use them, but for whatever reason, they just not doing it. I'm still mad that they're not using DeAndre Swift. We do not get that kid outside for some reason. Man. They want to run him. They are stuck on getting that kid tackle to tackle. Now he can do it because he has speed he can bounce outside in a hot second. And he's one of those backs where he can make it. He can hit up in the hole.
That's right.
Retreat about 1.5 yards and still get around that corner. He's that fast. But why can't we do a quick pitch or something, man? I do not understand that, man. We are stuck on going tackle to tackle now. We should be a little bit better this week because we're getting Cam Jurgens back at right guard. So him and Lane Johnson on that right side are tops. We put Tyler Steen out there last week. He did okay as a rookie against Micah Parsons, but he was still a rookie. Right. So Cam Jurgens coming back should help. But hold on for a second. Let me I gotta pay some bills. Let me try to do this. Hold on. Where we at? Oh, see, I hate this. You changing all of I gotta fix this. All right, hold on. We gotta pay some bills.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
There we go. It just totally messed up my background. That's why I hate. I got to change this up a little bit. My background back. But let me see. We're gonna do another ad at 35 and another one at 45. So just as a reminder. But like I was saying, man, we don't use our running backs correctly. Now, having said that, that is a nitpick because we are putting points on the board.
Right.
But one of my criticisms of Brian Johnson is that we still have some questionable play calling at crucial times because that game in Dallas, it was 3rd and 3, and he takes the long shot, the low percentage pass deep to AJ Brown on the left, and I'm like, put him on a 5 to 7 yard slant and let's get the first down. I didn't understand that at all. I would have rather just do the brotherly shove 2 plays in a row and get it.
Right.
That just did not make sense to me. So and he has bounced like that. I always know when our offense doesn't know what to do because they will always run that trips left, trips right, wide receiver screen. We always end up running that. I'm like, you know what? We don't know what to do right now. They still flipping through plays. So that's like the go-to. So his play calling, I have criticisms, but again, it's just a nitpick because we putting points on the board. And the last 4 weeks, we've pretty much solved our red zone issue. So, but I think our biggest challenge this week is going to be Chris Jones.
Yeah. I mean, he's every team that plays him is the biggest challenge, and rightfully so, man. Chris Jones he's a dynamic,
he's a beast
baller inside, and so you gotta make sure you account for him. And what So with Miami, they was gonna make Chris Young was gonna beat us. That's what they did. They held him. They double teamed him. They triple teamed him. When he lined up inside, double team. He went outside. They chipped, double teamed him. And so they just wanted to negate what he did. So he got frustrated. So toward the end of the game, matter of fact, the game wasn't even going to be close. It was going to be done with. And Chris got a silly penalty, like just a frustrated penalty, right?
I
He
remember
comes and shoves, like the guard is, and right there in front of the ref, like when the play was over. It was like, man, what are you doing? Like, come on, man. There was no need to do it. There was no need to make that frustrating call. But that was because, they held him all game. They was just trying to wear him out, trying to wear him down. So that's the thing about it with our defense. We got a very young defense that is very capable of playing some good ball. They're one of the top defenses in the league right now, especially our secondary, doing a tremendous job. Our linebackers are very good. We got a guy named Lou Tranquil that we had gotten. And Drew Tranquil, he's a cover linebacker, but he's not very good against the run. He just can't shed blockers. He can't get off. Right. So I'm kind of worried about that big offensive line that y'all got, kind of running the ball. This might be a week that DeAndre Smith might have a little bit more touches. I mean,
if they give him the ball.
If they give him the ball, but I'm saying this will be the week to do it.
Yeah, for the last 2 years, man, we have had arguably the best offensive line in football,
right?
But our offense we're stuck on passing, and not to. I wanted to go back to the point you made earlier about a lot of turnovers this year. Everybody's throwing the ball a hell of a lot more.
Yes,
which. His situation with his knee, he is not getting out of the pocket like he did last year. I was watching highlights on Jalen from last year, and I was like, wow. I was like, you don't realize how fast he was last year until you compare last year and this year. And he's like, ooh, I can see it. And it is very obvious. But because he hasn't been running like that, his rating in the pocket is like above 110. So he's been throwing the ball all over the place. He's been throwing it on time. He's been throwing people open. So he has progressed again just with his acumen throwing the ball. And when you add on to that, when he does, he should be unstoppable. I think the only thing that stops us is the chess match. That's the one thing that worries me going up against KC. You know how Andy Reid is coming off a bye. He got all the answers. So we got the most, and we got to be able to win that chess match because he checkmated us in the Super Bowl. We did in the second half, man, that was chef's kiss. And it wasn't, I mean, you going back and you pulling stuff that happened against us with another team from week 4, and you use it against us, and you do the same play twice with the same, you scored twice on the same play, you just flipped it.
One of the things that I always try to make this point. People are always like, hey, Andy's he's waiting to call plays later on in the playoffs, all these different things. I'm just like, listen, what would be better, okay, for defense to really defend is a volume of plays, okay, from the same formation running 50 different plays from that formation, personnel. Like you want to give the defense a lot of things they have to study and look at, okay? Right. That's what you want to do. Like, there's no sense waiting. What's the point of trying to wait? like throw everything out there, and then you can build off of it offensively. That's the thing about it, right? So you're not predictable. And then we know because of his offensive acumen, sometimes what's been hurt is on third down is we outthink ourselves. A little bit too smart for our own good. And so we're really bad on short yardage. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 is like our Achilles heel, not to mention the red zone. And so that's where we have been suffering this past year. Now, I got into just talking about the wide receivers y'all had. We don't have a Juju Smith-Schuster this year, okay? Yeah. We got guys, a rookie named Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, who was a second-round pick last year. You got MVS, Scantling, who came from Green Bay,
right?
who hadn't been a volume guy catching the football. He's been non-existent this past year. We got Kadarius Toney from the Giants, who's been hurt, and apparently we heard today that Andy's saving him for whatever reason. I don't know why. Which I still don't buy. I think he, was hurt. And the only guy that we lean heavy on, that Patrick Mahomes been leaning heavy on, is Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. And you know what the Miami Dolphins did? We are not going to let Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, beat us today. We're not going to let that happen. Okay? Not going to let that happen. So, I'm not sure he didn't mind being Taylor Swift's boyfriend, right? I would think that Sean Desai is going to take that same approach.
Yeah.
So after we got lit up in that Dallas game, hopefully he's learned some things. Hopefully that extra week in the film room, we've come up with some concepts and some coverages that can slow Kelce down. But the thing that makes Kelce and Mahomes so dangerous is they making it up as they go. They're not running plays. They understand situations, man, and they got that nonverbal communication, man, that is second to none. And them dudes, Mahomes will hit you with a sideways throw, and Kelce will see his zone, sit down in the zone that wasn't nowhere near where he was supposed to be running a route. So, but they got that communication level built. But to your point, if you can shut them down, y'all ain't got much help.
Well,
y'all don't have much help at all. But to even that out, we got to get better play from our secondary. And like I mentioned earlier, hopefully when we get some of these guys back, our secondary should be a little bit better. So we shall see. But before we go any further, man, Jay, I got to give a shout out to this guy. His name is Bernie Bodine, but he is a diehard Chiefs fan.
Okay.
So I told Kathy that I would shout out Bernie Bodine, Chiefs fan, the next time I had you on here, bro. So big shout out to Bernie.
Do the little Bernie, how they used to do the Bernie like a little bit. Yeah. That's for Bernie right there, baby. That's for Bernie.
Oh, man. Bernie, I hope you enjoy that, bro. Well, let me see. Are we at 34? Let me hit this other ad. And let's pay these bills. And on the other side of this, I want to get into, we kind of touched on it earlier when we was talking about Tyreek Hill talking all this smack. I want to talk about all these damn podcasts, man. Mm-hmm. In-season podcasts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're going to hit that in a minute. So hold tight. Let's get this brand up and let's pay the bills. Who's up? We are hats.com.
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com.
So yeah, man.
Cut my brothers right there, man.
Yeah, man. Big Tank. Big Tank and Irv. Yeah, you gotta check out they got a show called Vetted on A2D Radio. So we got Irv and Hollis. They always have Brian Dawkins on with them. He comes on and does a segment for about 15, 20 minutes. Then you got my show. Gary Cobb got a show. So we got Eagles alumni all on A2D Radio, man. So A2D is doing it up.
Oh, big guys, man. I talked to Hollis today. I was just talking to him.
Big Tank.
Yeah, he's coming out to Kansas City. He was talking about the barbecue. He said they do a whole big smash thing out there. I said, man, HT, I wish I'd be able to make it. I said, but you know what? I said, I don't think I'll be able to get there. I said, I might fly up because it's a Monday night game. If I do a quick turnaround, it'd be something leaving on Sunday and try to come back then. I said, but that'd be a little tough, so yeah, I gotta check them out, man, for real.
Yeah, man, we have fun, but I wanted to talk about all of this social media stuff.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to go through all of this. We didn't have to deal with all of this. If somebody wrote something bad about us, we was gonna see that dude in the locker room sooner or later.
Yeah, right.
Because they had to come in there and stick a microphone in front of your face if they wanted to get quotes and all that kind of stuff. But at least they had the gumption to do that. They had to have the balls to come in there. If they wrote that you sucked, you was gonna see them face to face.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
So nowadays, these guys write, these keyboard warriors can say whatever they want to say with impunity. And now all of the players, I mean, this is the media we're in. We're doing podcasts, you're doing podcasts. That's just where we are right now in the evolution of communication. However, in season, all of this stuff happening in season, all this smack talking in season, I've never seen, as long as I've been watching football or playing football, for players to create their own bulletin board material as much as they've been doing this year.
Yeah.
I saw one thing where Micah Parsons on this podcast said, he just said, you know what, I got to give it to the Eagles. The Eagles are the best team in football. And I thought for a minute, and I was like, let's just say hypothetical in some fantasy Philadelphia world. If I got on WIP and said, you know what, the Dallas Cowboys are just the best team in the NFC East right now, I said, man, I would go back in the locker room and Seth Jordan would smack the hell out of me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't get that at all, man. And these dudes are creating their own distractions.
Yeah. You know what it is? I think they've learned how to try to monetize the platform.
The money.
Yeah, and they just taking advantage of it. They understand that all the salacious, crazy things sells, right? The controversy sells.
Yeah, you're right.
Know just by saying that, just that little sound bite, you'll have thousands of people just run to it. What do you mean? Right? And he's like, I got it. Right, I got it. And so what he can do is, once he has it on the show, he can walk it back the way he wants to. Okay? Or he can say, well, look, I said that, but I really mean we are. Obviously, we're going to beat them because we're a better team than they are. But they could say that on paper. See, and he could, like I said, he could kind of put it the way he wants to. But, man, we seen the same thing. Tyreek Hill, like you said, they create the narrative. I don't even know why they want that headache, to be honest with you.
But that's my point.
Right.
That's my point. Why would you do that?
Man, they just used to it, I think. I think they're so used to it. Like Twitter, there'd be no way I could watch Twitter. When I was up there in Philly, there'd be no way I could sit there and listen to the radio. I remember Jimmy Johnson told me, he said, man, JD, do not read the papers or listen to the radio. Just don't do it. Because if you do, you're going to get a complex. And so what we've seen a lot is you'll see guys after a game, they'll look at all the good comments. They'll read all the good comments. They'll see one bad one, and that'll be the one that sticks in their mind. And I'm sitting there like, you let a guy trigger you, and you got at him the entire time. Why do you want to put your time and effort into somebody that is saying, smash it? Yeah. You never be satisfied. Somebody's always going to be wrong. Somebody's going to be wrong. But, man, find something else to do, some other type of outlet for yourself. And
I don't get it, man. Did you see what happened with Kenny Gainwell?
No.
Kenny Gainwell, our running back, he fumbled.
Yeah.
The game before Dallas, he fumbled in the Washington game, and he fumbled on the goal line. And at halftime, somebody tweeted something about him, bad tweet, trolling him, and he tweeted back at halftime. And then word got out, and then the person reposted it. So everybody's asking him questions about it. He had to fess up with it. He's like, I shouldn't have been doing that. But again, to your point, why would you invite that distraction? And why are you looking at your phone? I always look at my phone at halftime. Why? What could you possibly gain from it? And it is to me, it is a mental addiction that these dudes have to deal with. Like, you don't, ever since that mess with Antonio Brown, it's been like it gets continually gotten worse and worse. And everybody's falling for this, man. And it's like, you mean to tell me you were in the middle of a game that you were getting paid quite well to play, and you can't leave your phone in your locker for 4 hours while you get paid? You can't do that. You don't have enough discipline to do that. And these guys, they get messages from their wives and girlfriends and this, that, and the other. And it's like, I don't understand that, man. And like these guys have no focus, no discipline when it comes to little things like that. So it's like, what you gonna do on the field?
Right.
It's all related.
That's professionalism. And so
Yes, exactly.
the same thing. If you have friends or family who's texting you during halftime that you need to check something, that's a problem that you need to go ahead and you need to address it immediately. Or listen, okay, unless somebody's in dire straits, unless there's a reason, then I need to shut my phone off and focus on the game. That is complete lack of focus. And to be honest with you, I don't know. Did they find him? Did the team find him for something like that? Because I sure would have. I would have been, if I was Sirianni, I would have came and said, listen, if this ever happens again, make no mistake about this. Okay. If we ever find somebody tweeting or anything comes out and somebody was on Twitter or whatever social media during halftime, you will be fined. That is a team fine, because that's telling me a guy's not bought in all the way. That's what it tells me.
I agree. I don't know if he did that. If that may have been a closed door meeting that wasn't because it got a lot of press and he got a lot of questions for it. So if it was addressed behind closed doors or in the meeting room or something like that. So, but I'm with you, man, because I'm like that's the fastest way to get promoted to fan.
Yes,
You're not concentrating on what you got to do. You put the ball on the ground in the end zone. We on the 5-yard line going in, and you put the ball on the ground. Like, come on, man. So, but it's going to continue to keep happening. Somebody else will do something stupid later on down the line. So it's a different time. Yeah, man, it's this era of football, and that's one of the byproducts that I don't like. But I mean, if I was playing now, who's to say I wouldn't be doing the same thing? Because to your point, all of the branding deals and how much money they can make if something goes viral, something like that will go viral.
Yes,
and the amount of revenue you can generate from that type of stuff, the temptation is hard because at the end of the day, everybody trying to get paid. And now, kind of like a tag team of this is you see all of these guys retiring early after 6 and 8 years willingly because, okay, I got 6 years worth of pension that's coming in every month. I don't need to bust my head, and get concussions every week. And I can start a podcast with some other former players and we can get paid like this.
Yeah.
So I understand that, man, but to me, it's just a bad look when you're in season or you're at a game or something like that. And it just seems like it's happening more and more and more. It's weird to me.
That's the bad part, though. That right there, I believe what you do is that's somebody who is incompetent, which can affect the entire team. And like a play like that where he fumbles, like how do you live that down? Because now when you go off in any other media or any other thing that you do, people will constantly remind you of that, of the bad thing that you did. Okay. Aren't you the same guy that was tweeting at halftime because you fumbled?
Exactly.
Aren't you the same dude? So to me, yeah, the money is great. Okay. And the guys understand it's a brand. Oh, you got to build your brand and build your brand up. But there's a time and place. And they need to be explained to that. Like, man, there's a time and a place. Look, Travis and Jason are doing a tremendous job with the Heights,
the new Heights, yeah.
They're doing a tremendous job. They're just two brothers just talking, right? It's easy for them. So it don't really take a whole lot of time. It's just them having a conversation like they would on the phone, right, during the week. But then when you start seeing other guys who are trying to find things to drum up, okay?
Yep.
It just makes everything just crazy. Like you said, like why do you invite something like that inside your home? Why would you let who was the one guy that we seen? I mean, the one DB that got kicked off the Raiders because he said, "I'm gonna go find you," and he had like a gun on him. You remember that?
I know you're talking about. I can't remember the name. I thought you were going to say Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's in Detroit, but because he's been yapping too, and he ain't even playing. He's hurt. But I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah.
If you know it, if you in the chat and you know who that was, put it in the chat. But yes, but at the end of it's the same thing. It's the same thing, man.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
I don't get it, but they funny. But let me roll this last ad. This is Carlino's.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
Boy, Big Tank love that spot, man. He loved that Carlino spot.
And I was looking at it. I'm like, that looks good. I'm about to go over there. Go check that out. Sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We got some good sponsors on this show, bro.
Yeah.
But I forgot, where was I going? I had my last points. Now I don't forget what we was talking about. But yeah. How do you see the game going this week? We'll just start there, or end there, I should say.
You know what? I think it's really going to be a battle of, y'all offense against our defense. Like you said, on both sides of the ball. The other side, our offense and y'all defense have been struggling. Secondary wise, our offense, wide receivers, because we don't have a big name.
Right.
That's where it's going to be like, okay, how are we going to respond coming out the box? Okay. I think it's going to be one of those games. It's not going to be a high-scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be just one of those battles of just playing a physical football game. This is going to be a physical football game. But the thing is, you just got to make sure that Jalen can't get off and AJ can get off. And so put your hands on Devontae as much as possible. Goddard not being in the game is going to affect y'all a lot, tremendously. But, we know y'all can go. We just hope, y'all don't decide to give Swift the football this game.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, we gotta be able to contain Patrick Mahomes, not let him get outside and run. To me, that's the key to the game. I think Jalen Hurts will continue to do what Jalen Hurts has been doing against the defense. We're probably going to give up a couple sacks, but he's been better in the pocket. He's been stellar in the pocket. So this year he has been getting out of the pocket to extend plays, not to run.
Okay.
And that's really helped his passing game a lot. I'm expecting Devontae Smith to go off this game, not AJ, because AJ is the focus.
Yeah.
So, and without Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown is that big receiver to get those tough yards. I think he's tops in the league in yak anyways. While he gets the focus, I think the Slim Reaper is going to take off and have a game this week. And I'm really, really, really hoping we should see Albert O get some snaps. Our defense, our secondary is the question mark. Bradbury's back in place. Let's see if he can start playing a little bit better the second half of the season. We're getting Bradley Roby back, but we don't know what the relationship and the communication is like. It's one thing, it's not that easy to just pop somebody in a spot and think everything is just going to sync just right. Doesn't always work that way. So I want to see how they gel together in that secondary, because we got some good players. Bradley Roby's a good player. Bradbury, even though he's having a down year, it's not like he just forgot how to play. And then you got Slay, we got Blankenship, and Kevin Byard is an all pro.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get that secondary to gel together and start playing some solid football, we ain't even got to be a great secondary. We just got to be good and consistent. So if we can get that, I think we'll be fine, because we got all of these criticisms we got, and at the end of the day, we are one bad quarter from being undefeated. We lost that game to them damn Jets because that second half we couldn't do a daggone thing on offense. And that game, I was like, what is going on? We played down to the competition, and that's our only blemish this year. So I got the Eagles winning 24-17. 21. I think it's going to be one of them games where whoever's got the ball last is going to win the game.
Okay. So I got the Chiefs winning 28-21. And I think a lot of the game is going to be up front. Okay. And we stopped Jalen Carter, which is who's absolute madman. He's an animal. He's a handful. But we got an all-pro guard, man, in Joe Thuney. That's be able to go against him. Creed is probably the other best center in the game, besides Jason Kelsey. And so Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, our guard. If we could protect Patrick Mahomes and let him get out, like you said, don't let him get out, we're going to be fine. Another thing that we need to do, we need to run the ball effectively with Isaiah Pacheco, right? Kid from Jersey. Right there in Vine.
Hard.
Yes, he does. Right there in Vine.
Matter of fact, one of the guys on A2D radio, I think Pete Evans, that's his cousin.
Really?
He talks about all the time. Yeah, that boy runs hard. That boy runs violently.
Yeah. We've in certain games we've gone away from him, and we definitely gone away from him in the red zone, running the football in short yardage. And so we got to get him involved. And I think he gets better as the game goes on. Like you said, he runs hard. And that's what I love about it, because he brings that passion and that energy. And because he's playing the Eagles, right, the team that he loved, that he grew up just loving, he's going to try to play that much harder just against his hometown team. I mean, that's just what it is. So we got to let him get off. I think our secondary and Spags is going to be the key for us. And I said, put our hands on the big receiver, AJ. We got Snead on the outside. Trent McDuffie's one of the young corners in the league that's not getting a lot of press, but he's one of the better corners in the league. He's the one that made the play on Tyreek Hill in the back. Man, I'm telling you, he's sticky, staying in the hip pocket, and he'd be the guy that you want to match up with Devontae Smith. We just got to beat those receivers up, man. We got to beat those two receivers up. And I think from that point on, then you just got to bring blitzes. You got to bring guys on Jalen Carter. So Jalen Hurts. That's what you got to do. You just got to bring pressure. So we'll see what's going to look like, man. It's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a very good game. So
I'm expecting it. This will be, because we got the murderers row. Dallas was a tough game. Kansas City, I'm not sure what to expect next week with Buffalo, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's just, as long as we don't turn the ball over, we'll see what happens, man. So it'll be a good game. And like I said, I think whoever has the ball last might win this game. So I don't expect a blowout. I do expect a tight game, but for me, it all depends on what our defensive secondary looks like, because they're either going to play solid and they're going to surprise some people, or Mahomes is going to carve us up. But let's hope Desai's got a plan to shut down Kelsey and force everybody else to beat us. So we'll see. So, but that's about it, man. Before we get up out of here, why don't you tell everybody about Chief Concerns, when and where?
Okay. Chiefs Concerns, man. We on Apple and Spotify. We get out. We do a lot of live. We are on Bleacher Report. Come out there. We do Mondays. We do Wednesdays, and do Fridays. Fridays is our bet show that we're going to have. And so we can do our predictions. Just kind of talk about, what the odds are going to be. So if you want to win a little money, we got two guys that come on, some gurus about the betting process, because I'm still trying to learn how to do it, and they teach me a whole lot. But they do some good job with the parlays, all those different stuff like that. But we do that, like I said, those three, and then the fourth show is the post-game show that we have with Chief Concerns. But you see this have Chief Concerns, you see us. YouTube is another place you can go and see us. Come check us out. We talk about everybody. This right here is going to be a wonderful game to talk about. I mean, it's going to be the game of the week, no doubt about it. Everybody's waiting on Monday to see what this is going to be. Okay, so it's going to return of the Super Bowl, but like Jason Kelsey said, it's just one game.
Yep.
So, yes, this ain't the Super Bowl. This is one game. So, both teams are in each other's way. So who's going to get the head nod and the bragging rights for right now, right? So
yeah. Yep, man. So it should be a good, game. And as usual, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Pro Fan Talk. Daily content on the Eagles and everybody else in the league. And as usual, right here on the mothership, A2D Radio. If you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing because we ain't playing and we ain't going nowhere. So you might as well get on board before you get left. But let me see. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about before we get up out of here. When we was talking about Travis Kelce, the one thing I wanted to say was Travis has been doing a masterful job of keeping all of that celebrity stuff over there.
Yeah.
Now, when Taylor come to the game, everybody bitch moans and complains about, okay, how many times you gonna show her in the booth and that? And I'm like, you already know that's coming, so get over that. That ain't no big deal.
Right.
But he's been doing a very good job keeping that like really out of the limelight. The first time I saw anything celebrity like was this past weekend when I guess he showed up at the concert in Argentina or somewhere.
Yeah, Argentina.
And I was like, whoo, that's a long trip, bro. Hope you get back. Hope you ain't got that Argentina jet lag when you get back.
No.
Or maybe I hope you do have it. So
I ain't gonna be fine. It's a booth thing. Yes, it's a booth thing. You gotta see a booth thing. Hey, look, and you know when you're on PJ, hey, that's the thing about it. You travel different. That's a whole different traveling experience.
You're right.
With the commercial type of deal. So
she probably lent him the jet. So but think about it, man. It ain't nothing new. No. Did you play with Randall? Or was Randall gone when you got here?
He was gone when I was here. But I played with Petey, and he had Holly Robinson Pete.
That's right. Because I remember on this whole celebrity thing was when my rookie year, when I got to Philly, Randall had just stopped dating Whitney Houston.
Oh wow!
They had a thing for a hot second, and they were talking about it when we got there. It was a topic of some conversations, and you know the hearsay and stuff like that. Yeah. So the athletes and pop stars, that ain't nothing new.
No,
it's just to me it just it's dangerous nowadays, man, because you don't know what you're gonna get.
Well, but here's the thing: the NFL loves this probably more than they do.
They get paid.
Absolutely, they just made it global. You have the biggest, musician out there, artist, and now she's dating the guy in the NFL. This is perfect for them. Like when you're talking about, oh man, we want to make this global, Germany. This is how you do it, right? This is a match made in heaven for the NFL, and they promote. That's why they keep showing in the game. Oh, Taylor Swift, she's in here. Taylor Swift, she's here.
Yep. So, man, you know how many jerseys they sold from all of the Swifties and all of that, and they couldn't write a better script because you got Taylor Swift, arguably the biggest pop star in the world, right? Then you got Travis Kelce. His brother plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. She's from Philadelphia, and I'm like, it just matched together perfectly.
Yeah.
So I ain't mad, and I saw when people started hitting the NFL up on Twitter about complaining about how much coverage she was getting, and the NFL put out a response, and they were like, "We are appreciating all of this extra revenue that Miss Swift is giving us." I'm like, it's all about the money. Y'all might as well shut it on down because the NFL is getting paid. They happy about it. I think they put out some stat where some crazy percentage that the merch jumped up when Taylor Swift got involved in this whole thing. It was like, man, they not gonna sneeze at that money. They're gonna get theirs.
Look, she changes economies.
Yes,
that's
she did.
What she does. So we talk about revenue that she generates, the places that she goes play.
You can't mess with that.
That's a
you can't mess with that.
No.
Somebody in that NFL office getting paid, so they're getting a raise for this one.
Yes, sir.
But all right, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys for joining me. Great conversation, and we are going to see what we're gonna see on Monday night. So hope y'all be there, and go Birds.
Appreciate it, my brother.
You got it, bro. What's happening, folks? That was my conversation with Jason Dunn. Like I said, teammate of mine from Eastern Kentucky. We go back a ways since the mid 90s. I've been watching his success. I'm planning on next week after the game on Monday. I'm going to find some time to get on his show, Chief Concerns, next week. And we'll talk about the game and whatever happens. But after recording that, I was looking at some more stories, some more news that was coming out. And let me be honest with you, I still feel better about this game. I think it's going to be a close game, not going to be a blowout. But I have unless the Eagles just crap the bed, I don't see us losing this game. Unless we just, shoot ourselves in the foot, which could very well happen. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to come out of here with a dub. And even looking at the rest of the schedule, then we got Buffalo at home. And everything that happened there this week, which is I didn't agree with that unless it was more stuff that's going on with Ken Dorsey, because I don't know if you guys knew, there's a meme out of Ken Dorsey. He's in the coaching booth. They put the cameras in the coaching booth. They've got cameras everywhere now, but Dorsey's in the booth. Something happened in the game, and he just goes nuts. He starts slamming his tablet down and his book of notes, and slamming his headphones. Like he threw a legit temper tantrum. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, but in any case, and I've been saying this, all of the teams that we're about to play, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle. That whole gamut of people, all of those teams have problems. All of them. Everybody's got problems. Purdy had a good game. That doesn't mean it's gonna stay that way, But San Francisco's going to be tough because just like us, they're getting guys back from injury. We're healing up. We should be able to handle Buffalo. But again, and I've said this all year, the Philadelphia Eagles have no layups. We do not. The schedule is tough. Everybody's going to be gunning for us, but guess what? Damn it, they got to come play us. And nobody wants to deal with us. So they got stuff to worry about too. So we're going to handle our business. And it starts on Monday night. So I'm about to jump out and catch this Thursday night game because this is going to be a good one. My hometown Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams are playing good ball. I know Cincinnati just came off that loss. And if you watch the game, the only reason Cincinnati lost that game is because that daggone receiver dropped that ball that hit him dead in the hands in the end zone. He catches that ball, might have a different outcome. But woulda, coulda, shoulda, don't do nothing but rhyme. So big ups to my guy, Frank Lazar. I am efforting to get Frank on this show one time. He's one of those dudes that has a ton of stories. Frank's working the game at Baltimore tonight, so he will be one of those guys perched at the top of a stadium with one of those shoulder cannon broadcast quality cameras filming the game. He's been freelance for NFL Films and Major League Baseball and NBA for the last umpteen years. Good friend of mine. So what's up, Frank? Got to get you on the show, bro. So Eagles has landed. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Please come back next week, you guys. Bring a friend because we're trying to make this thing grow and we're going to get it done. All right, so let's go watch this game. Enjoy yourself and keep touching base with the content. And I will be back with you next week, same time, same channel on A2D Radio. All right, let's have a good. Is next week Thanksgiving? I don't think so. I got to look at that. Figure out what that Thanksgiving schedule is going to be. But in any case, have a good week. And I'm going to get back with you. Talk to you later. Go Birds.